As anyone who listens to this show knows, having Faith Masonius come and join us was a matter of when, not if. Very excited to be talking about Seton Hall, her history at Maryland, everything to come. Locked On Women's Basketball starts now.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And a very pleasant good afternoon to you. My name is Howard Megdal, and I want to welcome you to Locked On Women's Basketball. We want to thank you for making us your first listen every day. Over 300,000 of you listening in October 2024 alone. We just keep building because you show up for us the way we show up for you 6 days a week. And of course, it is not just me, it is the entire team across the board over at thenexthoops.com. We have over 100 reported pieces every single month on women's basketball, the past, present, and future of the sport. Go ahead and subscribe. $9 a month, $72 a year. You get all those just sent directly to your inbox. It is the women's basketball newsroom we've always wanted, I've always believed was possible, and it is here at thenexthoops.com. And my guest today is someone who has given us ample stories through the years. Came up through a powerhouse program here in Jersey at Manasquan High School, somebody who played with distinction at Maryland. And Faith, when you made the decision to go to Seton Hall, this is maybe the greatest indicator to me of the type of figure you have been in this game. Maryland and Maryland's coaching staff and Brendan, everyone were happy for you. Everyone is always happy for you for what you've been able to do, for what you've overcome through injuries through the years. So again, welcome to the show. I just wonder, what do you think are the basic building blocks of the way you approach this game and this life that allow so many people to be rooting for you?
Yeah, well, first off, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me on. Going into your question, I think for me, it just goes off how I was raised. My mom was a coach growing up. My dad, everyone played sports in my family. So I think just having a competitive nature, but also, the way I was raised is to be personable and create connections and relationships. And I think that's something I've taken without me through my entire life, especially going to college and just, getting to know people for who they are, not just, they're a coach or they're a player or a support staff. So just carrying that with me along the way.
Your mom, of course, is the founder, creator of New Jersey Rise, and there's a lot of basketball in your family, of course. We're seeing Hope now over at Bucknell, and Addie played at Wagner, I believe. And, it's a thing that I think about that a lot of people talk about is who is the first family of New Jersey women's basketball, right? And you guys are obviously right up there, and so are, of course, the Mabreys. And so I don't mean to put you on the spot, but just to get a sense, let's say your family was playing in a game against the Mabreys. Who comes out on top? Kind of take me through how you guys would guard. That's what everyone really needs to know. It's not niche at all, right?
That's the real important question here. I mean, hey, the Mabrey family, they are legit basketball family through and through, very close family friends of my family. So my best friend is Dara. So, oh man, if you put me and my sisters together on that team, I don't know who'd come out and win. Obviously, I would have to say my sisters, but that would be a good matchup. Because you got Michaela, a lethal shooter at Manasquan. Oh my gosh. And then going into Notre Dame, I don't know who would guard her because I don't know if I could, but that would be a tough matchup. Might have to put my oldest sister on her. My two oldest sisters used to play high school basketball. They didn't go to college, but they could do a little something. And then you got Marina, Dara. Oh my gosh. I don't even know who would guard any of them, but
it would be a challenge.
For sure. It would definitely be a challenge.
I would watch it. I know a lot of people would. Now you're one of 10 siblings, right? So you guys have depth. You'd be able to, throw some numbers at them. So that would
throw some numbers, get them tired. We got the fresh legs.
That's right. That would be one to watch for sure. But I do, joking aside, it does strike me, and I'll use a sort of entry point to this. I was at St. Joe's Penn last week, and I saw freshman Katie Collins playing. And she comes in, she's a freshman. She's going up against Talia Bertler, who's probably going to be A-10 Player of the Year. And she just turned 18 years old. She played all 40 minutes. She held her own. There was just this extra toughness that her coach was talking about. And you hear that and you see that again and again. I'm a lifelong New Jersey resident. I'm a native, but I'm trying to pinpoint, maybe you have a sense of it. What is it, do you think, about this state that breeds that kind of toughness? What is it that makes the girls and women's basketball here specifically so significant?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I mean, that Jersey Shore basketball is definitely different. It's the grit of New Jersey. It's always a thing that tough players come out of New Jersey, and it's not just basketball, it's the heart and the hustle. I think that New Jersey is definitely known for, and it might come from the fact that we're coming from a small state, have to kind of represent for our state, but it is a fact that, I mean, I would personally say the Shore Conference basketball is just different, but just New Jersey basketball is definitely well known for some gritty players.
I mean, the Shore is different than North Jersey, which is different than South Jersey and Central. We're small geographically, but somehow we have all these interior things to know within it. I love it. It's something wonderful to see. And I know for you being home, it gives you the opportunity, of course, to be even more fully immersed in that entire culture on a day-to-day basis when you're not playing or practicing. And I know how much you have going on with this and school and everything else. Do you get out to games? Are you that kind of basketball junkie with your time and your spare time too?
I mean, I am. Being home, it's nice to be able to obviously be with my family, but to get back into that basketball culture of just New Jersey basketball, even, I will be at Masco and high school basketball games this year, being able to see that, or even going to New York City. I watched one of my old teammates play. It was in the WNBA finals. I'm watching the Lynx and the Liberty play. I went to my sister's game. They were playing FDU last week. So just being able to go to so many different games and just be around, or even some of the Seton Hall men's games, and just being at basketball games, that's what I enjoy doing. So obviously I have to, get the perk of being home.
I have told people this, and I'm just reinforcing this. We've had Tony Bazell on the program as well. Just the idea that people can go to Walsh Gym, which is such a wonderful place and so much history in that building, and go see you guys play and go see you play specifically, is something people ought to be doing on a regular basis. You're going to have friends and family, I would imagine, at all of these games. Obviously, no career goes on forever. Do you take a little bit of extra time before some of these games to just say, look, I'm really going to enjoy this while I can?
No, 100%. I mean, I go into every game like it's my last. I'm never going to get that game back. I'm only, moving towards the end, which is so sad to think about. It just really makes me put in perspective to just cherish the moment and cherish the memories, being on the court, playing with the people I'm playing with now, and just try and enjoy every single moment.
You have recovered from injuries in such a way that it would make sense for you to be cautious on the court. But you're not. You're not cautious on the court. You are what you have always been as a player, which is that you are somehow on the floor going after loose balls even more than you are upright. Is it a thought in your mind, or is there just no other way for you to play?
I think for me is I knew coming off my injury, when I started diving on the ball and diving on the floor again, that's when I knew I was going to be okay. Obviously, coming off an ACL injury my junior year, getting that year back and just doing hours and hours of recovery. I had a lot of people around me who gave me confidence and just, helped me through that process. And once I started playing again, obviously there was those nerves and those questionable, if I do that, will I get hurt again, or will I do this? But it's just a matter of having confidence in the work that I put in through that rehab process. But it's not a thought in my mind anymore. I tell the people who struggle or who are dealing with going through that process of coming back from an injury, that thought process, you won't think about, okay, well, if I do this, will I get hurt again? It will just go away one day.
I also have to point out your humility and how you talk about your own game is something that has stood out throughout my time covering you. So segment 2, I want to get into a little bit of the numbers, because you seemed like a perfect fit for this Seton Hall program, for this Seton Hall offensive attack in particular. But what you are doing in the early going has taken it to another level. So back with more with Faith Masonius in just a second. I'm Howard Megdal. You're listening to Locked On Women's Basketball. But first, Locked On Women's Basketball is brought to you by Built. With the seasons changing, I'm already dreaming of a warm weather getaway. I love using points for travel, and I'm always looking for ways to earn more to book my next flight. Built lets you earn points using your rent payments and then redeem them towards flights, hotels, and more. Let me explain. There's no cost to join Built, and as a member, you earn valuable points on rent and your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can use to redeem your Built points. Points can also be redeemed toward a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/lockedonnba. That's joinbilt.com/lockedonnba. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you, joinbuilt.com/lockedonnba, to start earning points on your rent payments today. Back here in segment two. And so I want to get a little bit nerdy if I can. You talked about over at Media Day, for Biggest Media Day a few weeks ago, about, the way in which Tony talked about building a team and building the team with you. But in the early going, we are seeing a couple of things that take it beyond even just a good fit. And reigning Big East Player of the Week, you are putting up numbers at a different level than we've even seen. So you're at, through your first 4 games, 56.9% from the field. You are playing, by the way, 32 minutes per game and getting the opportunity inside and capitalizing. I want to focus in particular at 62.5% from 2, but more specifically at the rim. You have always been an elite finisher at the rim, almost as if you are the product of a coach. And you are doing that even more this year. So far this year, you are hitting 65.7% of your shots at the rim. You're getting 60.3% of your shot attempts at the rim. So take me through what it is that's allowing you. Are you stronger than you've ever been? Do you find yourself getting more of those opportunities? How do those numbers where the rubber hits the road come together for you?
Well, first, thank you for the compliments along the way. I think coming from Maryland into Seton Hall, my role as a player has definitely changed. The things that I have to do are very different now than they were, my first 5 years in college. But coming to Seton Hall, I have Coach Vazella telling me, look, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I need you to be aggressive on offense, and him putting that confidence in me and telling me, look, you scored 2,000 points in high school. You had 1,000 rebounds in high school. You can do it. And we need you to do it. So hearing that and getting, understanding that my head coach has that confidence in me definitely makes me want to do it and have that shift of mind, because it is a shift that I had to make coming here. And it was definitely a hard process that I'm still dealing with and still going through. Because for me, it's I don't want to feel like I'm being selfish or feel like, you know what I mean?
I do.
So it's definitely a shift, but having, my teammates around me and my coaches giving me that confidence definitely helps and allows me to be successful.
It is worth noting that you're north of 4 assists per game. Your assist percentage is ultimately at 38.6% right now, which is point guard level typically, and so I know in a lot of ways, and Tony talked about this, right? Running the offense through you, it gives you those different opportunities to distribute, opportunities to finish. Does that kind of freedom come with a certain extra bit of joy that you're able to take into this season for yourself? I'm just wondering whether, and you always have seemed like somebody who loves the game whenever you've played it. I just wonder whether you're enjoying it more than you ever have now.
I mean, I think now with the mindset of I'm going into my last year, I keep telling myself, you're never going to get these years back. So obviously I need to enjoy it while it's here. Everyone always tells you it goes so fast and you don't really realize or know it does until it's gone. So I'm having a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun having that little extra bit of freedom where the coach is like, look, we're going to play through you. So go and do what you got to do. It is a lot of fun, and it's just amazing having great teammates around me because they make it so enjoyable. And if you get a good pass, sometimes that's better than making a shot. So my teammates are always standing there like this, ready for the ball. So I know they got my back.
I love it. And what's amazing about it, though, the career you've had, it dates all the way back to before the pandemic. And what's notable to me is the fact that you have literally always made an impact. So I'm just wondering, what do you remember? I'm just going to give people a sense of the box score. Your first game was November 5th, 2019. That's how long you have been playing college basketball. And for those at home who need to know, who need to understand, you scored 12 points, you had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, like a vintage you game right out of the box. But what do you remember from that? That was so long ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Going 6 years. It's definitely been a long road. And I can't particularly say I remember what exactly happened in that game, but I know just loving the game. I want to do everything I can in my power to have an impact. So I think,
Mhm.
whether that's getting a stop on defense or hustling or getting a rebound or, making making those hustle plays, diving on the floor, whatever I have to do, I'm going to do for my team. Yeah.
This is
Gosh.
a good, talented Seton Hall team. Seton Hall has been a really good program with Tony. They have consistently won. They haven't gotten to the NCAA tournament for quite a while now. And we'd have a whole argument over years they should have. They won 24 games in 21, 22. But I wonder how much you feel like the NCAA tournament is the goal you want to bring this group to, how much that's central. And if not that, what are the goals as you sort of think about what you want this team to do?
Yeah, first and foremost, that's definitely the goal, get to the NCAA tournament. We want to win games. We are a very talented squad. We've been working day in and day out since June 2nd. So we've been working together. We've been, working through the kinks. Playing with 10 new people is obviously a challenge in itself, but we've been working really hard behind the scenes, getting extra shots up, getting in the gym. Everybody's just been doing what they need to do. So our goals are definitely high. We want to win games first and foremost, but NCAA, that is our end goal, and hopefully we can make it there.
The visualization of these things, is that part of your routine? Is that the way you effort to do it? And I'm just wondering, whatever it is, whether it's visualization, whether it's other tactics, how do you go about sharing those with your younger teammates, as you're trying to assume a leadership role here at Seton Hall?
Yeah, no, visualization is definitely a huge piece of being an athlete in general. I think, 90% of it is mental and that 10%
Mhm.
is, on the court, what you're doing. So it is really important to work on that as well. We have a coach who comes in and works with, our mental performance and how to be better mentally. So we definitely do things that help impact us mentally to be able to, get over that hurdle or get over something that we're working through. But it is really important to help our freshmen or our younger classmen to understand that those things are just as important as getting extra shots up or getting in the gym. Just carrying those freshmen along because somebody did it to me, and now we got to do it for them.
It is interesting. You talked about seeing a teammate of yours playing in the WNBA finals, former team. I assume, we're talking about Diamond Miller,
Yes.
who of course also speaks about the Jersey connection in a very significant way. Is there a moment that you were given that gift from somebody older who shared something with you that sticks with you, that you find yourself going back to? And I wonder who it was and what that was like.
Yes, actually, while you're saying and asking that question, I'm thinking, I'm like, oh gosh, who? But I do remember my freshman year, I played with Shakira Austin, who's now on the Mystics. But
Mhm.
I don't even know if she'll remember this. But my freshman year, she had told me, she was like, look, no matter who it is, no matter what somebody says, don't let them take that confidence away from you.
Mhm.
And I think that's something that really has stuck with me. And she was like, don't let anyone make you feel like you can't do something. So that has definitely stuck with me throughout the years. And yeah, it was nice. I actually saw her at that game too. So it's nice to say hi
She
and
was
see
there.
her again.
It is it's beautiful the way the community came together at the finals. We saw so many
Mhm.
people from other teams, people who just wanted to be there to take it all in. It really was an incredible experience, wasn't it? Just
It
the
was.
the 18,000 fans there and the sound of it. As somebody who covered the Liberty at the Westchester County Center, this felt very different than that, as you can imagine.
It was a lot of fun. It was a great series, I'll say that.
It really was. Well, I want to talk about your future in segment three. So, Faith Masonius, we're going to be back in just a moment talking segment three. I'm Howard Megdal. You are listening to Locked On Women's Basketball. Locked On Women's Basketball is brought to you by Robinhood Gold. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.25% APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Back here talking to Faith Masonius of Seton Hall of the state of New Jersey, I'm very proud to say, as always. And I want to talk about your future. And so, first of all, there's obviously a pro future in this game for you if you want it. There's the opportunity it's a point of personal privilege, right? People who are capable of finishing at the rim as effectively as you are, people who understand the game, who can defend multiple positions, who can rebound, who can distribute the basketball, looking for players who are capable of all of these different things, so significant on these rosters that are 12 and sometimes 11 players as well. So, first and foremost, is the W on your radar right now? Is this where you want to get to?
It's crazy you asked that. So if you would have asked me last year, 2 years ago, would you want to play basketball after college? My answer would have been no.
Mhm.
I want to get into coaching. I want to, start my life, create a family, have a job, like get into college coaching or just coaching in general. But I
Mhm.
think now it's definitely been a thought. I don't know if it would be the WNBA or, overseas, but I don't know. It really could change week to week, God
Mhm.
willing, if it were to happen, that would be amazing, but, whatever happens is gonna happen the way it's supposed to.
What's nice though, I mean, and I wonder whether this plays a part in it too, is there are these more options. There is Athletes Unlimited, there is Unrivaled, there's more chances to be able to do this even at the WNBA level as the league continues to expand. Has that played a part in it, or is it much more you getting healthy and feeling a little differently about what you're doing on the court day to day?
I think it's more so of me feeling healthy and
Mm.
the confidence that, I could do it. If you were to ask me maybe last year, I don't know if that would even be an option for me.
Mhm.
It really wasn't until this past week that I'm like, maybe I could go play overseas, maybe for a year, see how I would like it or see what would happen with that. Because if you would have asked me last year, my answer would have been no. I want to get into coaching immediately.
I will be frank. I selfishly, I hope you play as long as possible because it's always such a delight to watch you play on the court. But it's true that on the coaching side, there are players who are jumping straight from college onto coaching staffs. There was this young woman, Lola Mullaney, who made the jump. I have to look it up. Do you have any idea where she's from, where she went to school?
Yes, so I actually played with Lola. She played on Madison
That's
Squad.
right.
She went to Harvard for 4 years and now is coaching at Monmouth. But love Lola. I actually was talking to her the other day, and I'm just so happy that she's in this position and she was able to bring it back home and just have a successful, obviously, career. And then moving on to coaching is just so amazing.
It's been awesome. The great Jen Hatfield has a story for us about Lola over at thenexthoops.com. Highly recommended to all our listeners. Well, Faith, bottom line, and this is, I think, the most important question I'm going to ask you. You're back in New Jersey. You are there with family. You are succeeding wildly on the court. What is the meal that you were most excited to eat now that you were back in the Garden State?
Oh gosh. I think it has to be either a pork roll, egg, and cheese. Some may say tailored ham, but it is
Hmm.
pork roll. On a plain bagel because I
Hmm.
love my New Jersey bagels, or some Jersey pizza.
Yeah, yeah, Jersey pizza. I mean, it is not an accident that the New York Times said the best New York City pizza was literally in New Jersey, and so
Exactly.
I'm glad to hear it. I also am a huge fan of the Sloppy Joes,
Mm.
right? But so that is my recommendation to all you listeners: get to Jersey, go get a Sloppy Joe, go to Walsh Gym, watch Faith and the Seton Hall Pirates play. Faith, thank you so much for joining us today. To our listeners, thank you for making us your first listen every day. We'll be back with you tomorrow, as we are 6 days a week. Until then, I'm Howard Megdal, wishing all of you a wonderful day.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.